been the topic of conversation here in the sports world for the last couple of weeks. And I know there are a lot of people on here that listen to this podcast who probably don't watch a lot of sports. They're like, yo, March Madness, like, what is that? That just sounds like me, how my brain is feeling in my various careers or my walk of life during March. Like, it's just mad. Like, I don't know. But let me explain to you why March Madness is so awesome, right? I love March Madness because the thing is, it's the only thing in sports really where anybody can truly win, right? So if you look at the NBA and the NFL, theoretically any team could win, but also for real though, if you're like actually approaching the conversation, there's only about 8 to 10 teams that can win in each one of those leagues. In March Madness, I forget how many. There's 128 teams in the bracket. Every single one of those 128 teams, I would say, has a really good shot at winning. Yeah, are there tournament favorites? Absolutely, but can a team actually go on a Cinderella run out of like some random conference in the middle of Florida and just pull out a win? Absolutely, it's possible. It's the sport that it's the most possible in, and the whole thing is so great for one reason and one reason only. And you're gonna laugh when I say this because there is, but there isn't. There's no money involved in March Madness. Ha 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 ha. Of course there isn't. There's money. Yes. Well, of course. Look, there's money from the business side, but the athletes who are purely playing the game are not getting paid. They're getting paid. I mean, obviously California passed that law of like you can make a what's it called? You can make a living or you can make money off your name, but that's really for popular players. That's for like players who are going to go in the draft or players that are just well known, not really like the local Division I stars of Chattanooga, Tennessee, right? Not really, but I mean, of course, they could be taking money from under the table. Who am I to judge? But I mean, I guess it's wrong. But who taking money from under the table? But these guys aren't getting paid for the most part. These college athletes are really, I mean, they use the tournament to try to make a name for themselves. There's something called the March Madness Tournament Hero, and people's draft stocks could be risen because of that. And for a lot of these guys, it's really the last time that they're going to be in the national spotlight for a long time and possibly forever. I mean, they'll probably just go on to their future career, their future corporate job. It's the place, like the March Madness is this place where everyone goes to prove themselves, but everyone collectively in the tournament isn't shit. That's what everyone recognizes. It's like, oh, like you may be the number 2 pick in the draft, but you haven't been picked number 2. You still haven't set foot in the NBA. You still go to organic chemistry 101 at Duke. Like you're not shit. And so everybody, except for like Coach K and the legends of college basketball, you're not shit. You don't have shit. You're not anybody. And it's also the concept of like college kids because they're playing this game that they absolutely love. And they have to oftentimes go through a lot of adversity. I mean, college athletes aren't like flown out on private planes and all of these things. Like you're taking 10-hour bus rides to random cities in the middle of Mississippi to play a game and all of these things, right? Except if if you're in a big program, then maybe, but like you may have some of that NBA lifestyle, but not particularly. The best March Madness stories are truly the ones that like come from nothing to make like a huge run in the tournament, right? A small school, bad program, been doubted for years, makes it into the tournament and goes deep. They become America's sweetheart for the month, right? St. Peter's this year, right? They're in the Sweet 16 right now. We'll see how far they get, but everyone thought, oh, okay, shitty program, Jersey City. Nice story. They even made the tournament. They're probably going to get crushed first round by Kentucky. They ended up beating Kentucky. Everyone's like, whoa, this is huge. And then they played the hottest team in college basketball, Murray State, and they beat them. A program that is one of the top ones in the nation. Now they're in the Sweet 16 all of a sudden. Everybody's like, St. Peter's can beat absolutely anybody now. And where is St. Peter's from? They're from Jersey City. Their campus is literally one block. It's super small. Their weight room, like there's a popular story going around on social media. Their weight room is like they can't play music during their weight lifts because it's the wall. They share a wall with Philosophy 101, which is like their class. Like the roofs are leaky. They had to cancel home games because their facilities are so bad. Like they're underfunded. They're just a bunch of guys who really love the sport of basketball, and they found their way into the tournament, and then they ended up being in the Sweet 16. It's pretty cool. And honestly, college basketball is, for the most part, I'd say like 85% of the players in college basketball are players who are probably have a better who are more focused on their degrees rather than making it to the league or pro or overseas or any of these things. Because even if though you're playing Division 1 basketball is massive. Okay. And you have the cream of the crop of the talent that gets picked in the NBA draft and is going to go on to have an NBA career, whether that be as a role player or as a potential star or as a potential star of the league, which is, rare and rare. It gets rare as you move up, or your guy who's just getting his degree. That's really what college basketball comes down to. And there's always one team every year in March Madness that just makes a run. And it could be like a big school that was ranked pretty low, but they made a huge run. But everyone makes a run. One year that no one thought was possible, right? UCLA last year was an 11 seed and they made it all the way to the Final Four. And it's this whole concept that every game could be the last game for any of these guys, right? There are seniors on most of these teams who are probably just going to go to corporate America after this, or go back and graduate and finish and just finish their college lives. And that's the thing. This is their last shot at winning this championship that they've probably aspired to win for the last 3 years. And this is their last chance, right? And for some of these guys, they're like, yo, I'm happy to be in the tournament. St. Peter's is probably hella happy to be just in the tournament. They're like, yo, I'm in the tourney. I'm happy. That's all I care about, right? Fair. But I think March Madness has way more of an appeal than pro sports, in my opinion, to just the casual fan in general. Because in pro sports, these guys are getting paid millions and millions of dollars, right? They're getting paid to be there. It's not like an authentic representation. It's like yes, of course, a lot of them love the game and they play so purely, and I think that's why we're so attracted to those athletes. But there are a lot of players. There's a lot of freaking players who play for the big contracts. Okay, let's be real. It's how they make their livelihood. I don't fault them. In college basketball, you're trying to make a name for yourself. So everyone is out there just playing because they actually love the game and this is what they want to do for the rest of their lives. And so seeing the students of like various schools just get really excited, and then the fan factor too. It's like it's usually just students or alumni that have attended that school in the past, and so they just get super humped. Wow, I said super humped. Yeah, that was fucking weird. Super pumped and super excited over these tournament runs. And I just love that. I love how the fandom is so authentic because it's like, oh, I went to the University of Arizona. Oh, I went to St. Peter's or wherever, whatever school it may be. And most of the games are close. Most of the games are really close. And so seeing, students get pumped and all that, pumped is pretty cool. And it's a good energy. There aren't very many sporting events like that in the world that have that that authenticity to it. That like players aren't getting paid millions of dollars to be there. And March Madness has that. So it's really cool that it has that charm. And I wanted to pay my respects to March Madness, so to speak, in that sense.